Now to our top story this morning. We are learning more details about the fatal shooting of a judge in Kentucky. Former Letcher County Sheriff Shawn Stines is in jail this morning, accused of killing District Judge Kevin Mullins. Mullins shot to death inside of his chambers after the two men apparently got into an argument. The visitation and the funeral for Judge Kevin Mullins was yesterday. Kaylee Randall from our affiliate WLEX reports.
I'm outside of the Jenkins Independent High School where the visitation and funeral for Letcher County District Judge Kevin Mullins just finished up.
You know, it's tragic that this has happened, especially since it became national news. There's already people have thoughts about this area anyway. And this has sort of drawn attention to that. It's been like a big cloud, dark cloud over us.
There was a somber atmosphere here as dozens of mourners came out to pay their respects to Mullins, who was shot and killed Thursday afternoon. The visitation was from 2 to 6 p.m. and the funeral began at 3 p.m. According to Kentucky State Police, Mullins was shot and killed in his judge chambers around 3 p.m. on Thursday. Letcher County Sheriff Shawn Stines was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. A motive is unknown at this time. Some attendees we spoke to recognize that it's a difficult day for the entire community and those close with Mullins, and calls him a great judge. Several police agencies attended, such as Jenkins Police Department, Fleming Neon Police Department, and Whitesburg Police Department. We reached out to the Mullins family, but they're asking for privacy during this time of mourning. In Letcher County, Kaylee Randall, LEX 18 News.
All right, thanks to WLEX for that report. Now, Sheriff Stines is going to be in court for an arraignment this Wednesday at 11 a.m. We're going to be filming that one and certainly going to provide you with updates as our Court TV team is en route to Letcher County right now. So anything we learn from our team on the ground there, we're going to bring to you on this program. We do have some new information this morning I want to share. So we understand that Letcher County Circuit Court clerk Mike Watts says that he saw the sheriff and the judge together shortly before noon, just 3 hours before the shooting happened. And he said that these guys were both getting ready to go out to lunch together, indicate they're palling around together. And he indicated that Sheriff Stines seemed a little quieter than usual. Okay, so that's what this law clerk found. Then we know that officials are saying that Sheriff Stines had been deposed last Monday in a lawsuit that was filed by two women, including one woman who claimed that a deputy forced her to have sex inside Judge Mullins' chambers for 6 months in exchange for staying out of jail. That is the allegation. According to the lawyer who filed that suit, the sheriff appeared to be angry, agitated, and defensive during his deposition. I've got two great guests I want to bring in now. Former prosecutor, retired SLED agent, current lawmaker, attorney Tommy Pope, and retired criminal defense attorney, the man who represented Jodi Arias, Kirk Nurmi. Great to see you gentlemen this morning. Tommy, let me begin with you, please. As an investigator for many years, tell us the biggest questions you have in your mind, hearing the limited facts that we have today on this case, please.
Well, the one thing I thought about from the beginning, we always try to talk about what's preventable. I don't know how you would ever prevent these circumstances, because who at the courthouse is allowed to have weapons? Who is allowed to have access to the judge? So I think the piece that you ran before, I want to know the why. After hearing that little piece about the deposition, my inclination is that the sheriff was thinking and planning this way earlier than the time it happened. In other words, whatever occurred, whatever he was angry about, he was seeking out his opportunity.
Appreciate that, Tommy. I mean, when we think about the why, you're right. This is the biggest question. Everybody's been asking me all weekend, what's the motive? What's the motive? What's the motive? It doesn't seem to be a whodunit case. It seems, based on what officials say, that the sheriff was kind of caught red-handed, or maybe didn't care for some reason, or could it have been self-defense? So many questions. Kirk Nurmi, as a practicing criminal defense attorney for so many years, tell me where your head is with the actions of the judge and assessing the facts, the actions of the sheriff. What questions do you have on your mind today, please?
Yeah, you know, when we see that timeline, like Tommy, it is illuminating, because you think it's just an act of workplace violence, and it is to some extent, but And I think about that camaraderie between judges and staff and lawyers and keeping everyone safe in the courtroom and that betrayal. But with Mr. Stines, and I'm not going to call him a sheriff anymore after what he did, ultimately, this was a man who was getting in deep, and people with criminal minds tend to keep getting in deeper. They keep thinking that there's going to be some solution to the problem. If these allegations of sexual misconduct have any merit, perhaps the judge had some information in that regard. This might be really, like I said, not a sheriff, but a criminal trying to cover his tracks, and we see that in many different situations. And the aspects of it don't really change just because someone is wearing a uniform of authority.
Excellent points, Kirk. Tommy, let me go back to you, please. When we think about who may prosecute this case, would you kind of walk us through assessments that may go on in terms of whether anybody might be conflicted out?
Sure. For your viewers, it is exactly that. It's where there's a conflict that either you're avoiding the possibility of impropriety or favoritism, or even the appearance of impropriety. In other words, if it was my sheriff, most likely what I would do was contact the Attorney General's office, who would either then handle it themselves or they would assign it to another solicitor around the state. Again, the reasoning being you want the public to have faith that justice is served, because you know some of these are convictions, some are not, for all kind of different reasons. You never want it to have the appearance that it might have been an inside job. And knowing that small community, it was kind of like Union and the things we dealt with, it really hits home in those small communities. So it'll be better really to have an external prosecutor and obviously an external judge.
Great points, Tommy. You're so right, especially the small community, how everyone has just been shaken so badly because of this, understandably so. Kirk, let me go back to you, please, when it comes to the sheriff and what happens next for him. Let's just say, for the sake of our analysis, he says, I want Attorney Kirk Nurmi to come out of retirement and represent me. How are you going to assess things? Where might you go in determining what kind of defense would be best for him in court?
Well, if I'm coming off the bench, I'm going to give you a lawyerly answer, and that is, it depends, Julie. It depends on, because we know that the defendant and the court and everyone else knows a lot more than we know. But, you know, and I say one thing is, it depends, is, you know, do I have a prosecutor to talk to? Is the specter of the death penalty an issue here? I'm going to assess everything I can. I'm going to start making inroads with his family, so if I need information. So I'm going to do everything I can in terms of, like I say, that specter of the death penalty, but also, you know, this investigation. Sometimes, you know, a defense attorney will take a look at the investigation, but this doesn't seem like one of those cases. We might want to get as much information as we can about the backdrop of this case, some of these allegations. So really, at this point, you're gathering information. That is the most prominent thing you're going to do. And you're going to want to reach out to the prosecutor as soon as possible once he or she is assigned, to decide whether or not that death penalty is in play or not.
Oh, that's a great point, too. We know that although the sheriff is charged, these are just allegations at this point, innocent until proven guilty in this country. And I can't wait till we have more information about this, because it's so puzzling right now. And thank you both for helping us sort through what we have available to us this morning. Kirk Nurmi, Tommy Pope, I don't have to say goodbye to either one of you right now. You're coming along. We're going to see you both returning in our Spotlight segment.